screen. And as I said, tonight we're going to concentrate on PowerPoint. Now, PowerPoint is primarily used to create presentations that you're going to give in front of an audience. So you create what are called slides. That's what these little thumbnails are at the left. And as you click on those thumbnails, you get a bigger picture of the slide to the right. Now, just as in any of the software programs in Office, we have templates that we can use. Remember, we looked at templates in Word. We used the resume template. And last night, I showed you the budget template and the loan amortization template. If you go to the File tab and click on New, there are templates that you can choose from here. And these templates are just simply pre-designed presentation. They have the font already chosen, the color already chosen, and some styles that are built in. I'm just going to pick one of these. I'll pick this wood type. When I pick this, you notice to the right, I get some different choices as far as what color scheme I want to use. I'm going to go with these darker kind of wood tones. And when I click create, it will download that template into PowerPoint for me. And in this template, I can use these placeholders. So this is where I would add the title to my presentation. So let's say if I called this IC3 presentation, okay? I'm just clicking where those placeholders are to give it my own flavor. In templates, you can add slides, and you can add slides in any presentation. That is on the Home tab. And you see we have this new slide button. If I click on the upper part of the button, and remember this is true of any command, you get the default. If you click the drop down, you get choices. So if I click the drop down, I get different types of slides that I can insert into this presentation. So I'm going to insert the title and content slide. And notice when I do that, the layout of this slide, slide 2, is different than slide 1. The layout of slide 1, if I wanted to look at it, I could go to the layout button and I could see, because it has that gray shading behind it, that this is considered a title slide. And this one is, and this one is the title and content. So notice your placeholders are in different locations. So let's say here I wanted the IC3 badge, okay? And I wanted to add a picture to this slide. Well, because this slide already has the placeholders, the best way to add a picture is to click on this little picture button, because there are 6 little buttons in this content area. Create a table, create a chart, create smart art, insert a video, insert pictures from online, or insert pictures from your computer. So let's go to insert online. Now, I don't think I'm going to find this here, but let's see what it comes up with. let's just pick a different badge. All right, I'm just going to pick this one. And notice when I put my picture in, the placeholder is gone and it makes decisions for me based on where that placeholder was located. So in this case, it put it below the title and it centered the picture. Obviously, just like in any other of the software packages, you get a new tab and you can make changes to that picture. Okay. So when you're inserting slides, you want to go to the Home tab and you want to specify which type of slide you're inserting. If you need to change a slide, so I'm going to change the layout of this slide to have two contents. So you notice how it pushed over my first picture, and now it's giving me a different placeholder area so I could insert a second picture. Let me just find a picture here that I like to insert on that slide. So you can change layouts of slides and you can insert slides based on a layout that you like. Now I got this slide from a template. However, I can go to my design tab, and on my design tab, I have different themes that I can apply. You see how I'm hovering over them and my presentation is changing, okay? There are more themes listed below here, okay? You can also, in this design tab, change the background of one slide or all of your slides. So I'm going to go to my first slide here, which has that green background. And I'm going to go to Format Background. And when I open up Format Background, I get some options here. You may recognize these options. We saw similar ones when we were in Excel and we were doing charts. You could fill this in with a picture background, okay? You could fill it in with a gradient, and you could pick different colors here. And you can specify your gradient. You could apply this just to this slide or at the bottom to all slides in the presentation. So the Design tab in PowerPoint allows you to change the overall kind of scheme of your slides. All right, I'm going to go back to my previous presentation, this one about coffee. And we're going to talk about inserting slides, deleting slides, and moving slides. Right now, when we are looking at this presentation, We are looking at it in what's called the normal view. In the normal view, we get little thumbnails of our slides over here at the left. And then depending on which slide we're selected on, we get the detail over at the right. Now, that also can be controlled down here in the status bar. This first button is the normal view of PowerPoint. So if I wanted to insert a slide at the end of this presentation, just like in the other Microsoft apps, we can use that control function end. It will drop us down to the last slide, and I'm going to insert a new blank slide at the end of my presentation. We can also delete slides. One way to delete a slide is to select the slide. Notice how you get that border around the slide to know that that's the one that's selected. You can use the delete key to delete a slide, or select the slide, right-click on it, and use the delete slide option in the shortcut menu. You can take a slide and drag it to a different position over in your thumbnails. Okay, that's probably the easiest way to move slides around. Another view that can be helpful when you're moving slides around is the slide sorter view. The slide sorter view can be accessed either by using this View tab and going to Slide Sorter, or a quicker way, down here on the status bar, clicking the Slide Sorter button. And in this view, you get to just see the thumbnails of the slides. And if I move my zoom slider to make these thumbnails smaller, I can get a full picture of all the slides in my presentation. So it makes kind of a big picture view by using this slide sorter view. So this is real helpful kind of at the end when you're manipulating your presentation and you're trying to get things in the correct order. I'm going to go to the normal view. And the next thing I'm going to talk about is inserting stuff into your slides. So first, let's go to a slide. I'm just going to pick this slide, slide 12, and I want to insert a picture on this slide. Now, I know we already have this picture. This picture is on every slide, but we want something from South America on this slide. So anytime we're inserting stuff into our presentation, we can go to the Insert tab, and this Images area will allow us to insert pictures from our computer, insert online pictures, do a screenshot, or open a photo album. So I'm going to click on Online Pictures, and I'm going to look for South American coffee and see what comes up. Let's say I like this picture, and I'm going to insert that on my slide. When I insert that on my slide, again, you should notice a new tab appears in my ribbon. All of these options pertain to this picture. This picture is selected. How do I know it's selected? It has these little sizing handles all around it. I can size the picture. I can move the picture. I can change the style of the picture. Okay, I kind of like that one. I can, and remember this crop button, you could crop the picture to a certain shape. So let me see what shape might look good. I don't like that one. Let me see another one. So because I want you to be able to tell. There, okay? And I can move this picture around, and right now this picture is on top of my text. Sometimes you might want to change the transparency of that picture so it's really light, okay? Notice I can see the text, but I can also send that picture to the background so that I can see the text on top of it. So you will be asked on the IC3 exam to be able to import pictures and manipulate pictures in Word and PowerPoint. They won't ask you to do it in Excel, but they definitely will ask you to do it in Word and PowerPoint. Besides pictures, we can also insert video and audio. And both of those are very similar. So let me show you. I'm going to go to my last slide, which is a blank slide. And I'm going to go to the Insert tab. And over at the far right, you see this group called Media. You have video, audio, and screen recording. Screen recording would be if I was presenting a PowerPoint to you and I wanted to record my voice giving the PowerPoint presentation, and then you would be able to play it back. So I'm going to insert a video. When I click the drop down, notice I have online videos, so you could link to a YouTube video if you wanted, or you could have a video on your computer. So I have a video stored on my computer, and when I click insert, it inserts that video onto this slide. How do I know that this is a video? One down here, I see this play button. You'll also see these sizing handles around the slide. I could size that video so it's smaller. Notice that I also got a new tab called the Playback tab that I could have this looped so it would keep playing this video over and over and over again. I can control things like the volume. I can even do some trimming of the video if I want, and I can play the video on this slide. So when you insert videos or audio, when you insert those, you will get this playback tab so that you are able to control the playback of either the video or the audio files. All right, let me add another blank slide just because I wanted to show you this cool feature. You're not going to be tested on this, but I think this is pretty cool. It's available only in Office 365. On the Insert tab, there's a new button now called 3D Models. When I click it, I'm going to use the emojis because these are kind of fun. So let's say I chose this one. Now notice with these emojis, see how I can turn them around? I can size them. I can even add motion to them, which I am going to show you in a moment. Okay. Right now, I'm just going to pause for a minute, and I want you to go to the chat and let me know if you learned something new that you didn't know about PowerPoint. Awesome. Okay, good. Okay. In these 3D models, I mean, you can do so much. You can, I spent like 2 hours on this, just having fun and playing with these 3D models. But if you are like a science teacher, let me just show you. You can go to like the heart. And this is going to be so, here is a 3D model. And there's some even better than this. And students can look at a 3D model and really get into what do all of those different parts mean. There's airplanes. You can't believe all the cool stuff that's in this 3D modeling. So I wanted to share that with you. The next item that they will test in PowerPoint is the difference between transitions and animations. So a transition is how we go from one slide to another. So if I was ready to show you this presentation, I would go to the slideshow tab, and I would say I wouldn't want to start from the beginning of my PowerPoint. And on the first slide, here's my first slide, I hit space to go to the second slide, space to go to the third slide, and so on. When I'm done, I can hit the escape key. The escape key is the ESC button that you should look down on your laptop or your keyboard right now and see if you can find that. That will bring you back to the normal view of PowerPoint. If we wanted to make our presentation a little bit jazzier, okay, we could add transitions. So I'm going to click on transitions, and I'm going to add a transition. I'm going to go up to the first one, and I'm going to add a transition called random bars. So instead of just going from one slide to another, you saw that when I clicked on random bars, it kind of looks like a curtain opening or something, okay? So that will be how I transition from one slide to another. When I select the type of transition, and there's a whole bunch of different ones you can try out. I'm just showing you. I can, in random bars, if I click this drop down called effect options, I can choose, do I want it to be vertical or horizontal? I'm going to switch to horizontal, gives me some more options. And if I like that transition, I can apply that transition to all the slides in my presentation. So I click that. I'll go back to my slideshow. And from the beginning, now you'll see when I go from slide to slide, I get those horizontal bars as I move through my presentation. Escape will take me back to the normal view of my presentation. So that's what transitions are, how you move from one slide to another. Animations, let's go to slide 2. Animations happen on one slide. Okay, you can have different animations on different slides. So let's say on this slide, I'm going to click the animations and I'm going to animate this text in these paragraphs. So you notice I selected those paragraphs on the slide. And I'm going to say that I want the float in animation. You see how that text floated in, and now you see these little numbers associated with my animation. Again, I have effect options, like do I want it to float up or float down? Okay. And I have animated that slide. Let's go to that 3D model that we put in of our little emoji. And let's do a jump and turn. Okay. And you can use the preview button to see if you like that animation before you stick with it. Okay. So animations are one object at a time, one paragraph at a time. Whatever you select on that slide, how you want it to animate on the slide. Now, the View tab in PowerPoint, we've talked about some of these different views. We talked about the normal view, and we talked about the slide sorter view. We also have something called the outline view. If I click the outline view, instead of little thumbnails at the left, I get kind of an outline of what is on each slide of my presentation. And a lot of people don't know this, but you can create an outline in Word and have it automatically be imported into PowerPoint, and it will create the presentation for you. And I wanted to show you that right now. I'm just going to close up this PowerPoint by minimizing it. And I'm going to open up a Word document that I have. And I created just a real simple outline in Word. So in Word, I have these designated as heading 1 styles. Every heading 1 style, when it gets exported to PowerPoint, becomes a new slide. So this will be a new slide, this will be a new slide. Heading 2 styles becomes the bullets on the slides. So I just did a real quick outline in Word. So many times when people are creating presentations, they think of, what do I want my title slide to be? Well, the correct way to do a presentation is the old-fashioned way of creating an outline of your content. Get the content down first. don't worry about colors or fonts or pictures. First, get the text that needs to be in your presentation, and then bring it over into PowerPoint and make it pretty, okay? So I have an outline here in PowerPoint. Remember, or excuse me, in Word. Remember in Word, we called this the quick access toolbar, okay? On the quick access toolbar, I added a button called the Send to Microsoft PowerPoint button. Once you've added that button to your quick access toolbar, you never have to add it again. Your computer will always remember that. But just to remind you how to add a button to your quick access toolbar, okay, I went to More Commands because it's not listed here. I then had to display all the commands that Word had. It puts them in alphabetical order, and I'm looking for the command that says Send to PowerPoint. So these are in alphabetical order. I got pretty close. Send to Microsoft PowerPoint. When I click Add, it puts it over on the right-hand side for me. And now, watch what happens when I click that button. PowerPoint opens, it creates a presentation. The presentation has 6 slides with all the text already from your Word outline. Now is the time you can work on the theme, the design you want, the transitions, the animations, the adding of pictures or video or audio. Okay, I am going to close up this PowerPoint. Close up this Word document and go back to that PowerPoint that I was using before. I showed you that the slideshow tab is where you will run your slideshow. I'm going to change this back to the normal view. So you can start the slideshow from the beginning, from the current slide. You can also set up your slideshow. If you use this button, you could, for example, if you've ever gone to a school and you see like a PowerPoint running, you can loop continuously, okay? You can say this is presented by a speaker or in a window, okay? So instead of full screen, it could be in a window or in a kiosk. You can also tell it which slides you want to have in the presentation. And you can manually advance slides, meaning you have to hit the tab key, or you can have it automatically using timings. So you can set up how your presentation is displayed in this slideshow tab. Now, there's a lot of different ways that you can export presentations. In the normal view, as I said, you get the little thumbnails over at the left and you get the full slide on the right. At the very bottom here, you see this area that says click to add notes. These are notes that you might want to actually say. Make sure to say blah, blah, blah. okay? And this notes area can be expanded to be bigger. When I'm giving a presentation and I'm in my slideshow, I don't see those notes. So I might want to print off those notes so that when I'm giving the presentation, I can see the slide as well as the notes. So I'm going to go to the View tab, and I'm going to show you the Notes page view. You see how you get a picture of the slide and then the notes area underneath it. And this can be printed as well, so that as the presenter, you have your notes. They would kind of be like your index cards if you've ever given a speech before. On the File tab, I want to explore export and talk about different ways of exporting your presentation. First, we have a PDF, okay? So I could create a PDF of this presentation. I could have it the standard size or the minimum size. If you click this option, you can specify all the slides, only maybe one slide that you want is a PDF. I'm just going to click OK. And when I hit publish, it will publish this presentation as a PDF file, which I then could email someone and they wouldn't have to have PowerPoint to see the PDF. And you see there's 16 pages to this PDF because there were 15 slides. So that's one thing you can do. Let me just close that up. Go back to that export. You also could create a video of your presentation. You have options for the type of video, like high def, ultra high def. These are going to be bigger file size than the standard or the HD, okay? I'm going to just do a small file. And you could say that there are, I don't know, that would be, let's say 1 second between slides or 10 seconds between each slide. And when you create the video, it's going to create a video. Notice the file type. It's no longer a PowerPoint. It is a video file. You can also package it for a CD. You can create handouts. So let's say this was a class. I was doing a PowerPoint. I used to do this more for my students. I can create handouts. And I'm going to say that I want blank lines by each slide. Click OK. This creates a Word document. And it provides the students or the people who are watching the presentation to be able to take notes during the presentation. I'm still clocked out. It does take a minute. And here's my Word document. It's still working, but you see how I get the slide number, a little thumbnail of the slide, and then lines to the right of the slide for people to take notes on the slide. close that Word document and not save it. Also in the File tab, we can save our PowerPoint. The default extension is PPTX, but if we were to select that drop down, we have some other choices. We could do a JPEG. Oops, I hit the wrong one, JPEG. A JPEG is a picture file. And it says, which slides do you want to export as a JPEG? Let's just do this one. And it has now saved that as a JPEG file. Where did I put that? Hold on, I gotta find it. I lost where I actually stored that. Let's just do it again. File, save as. So besides JPEGs, you can also do PNGs, okay? Oh, I'm saving it desktop IC3. And when I click save, I'm going to say all slides. It will take a minute. And when I go to my desktop, it's saved. These are all PNG files that were saved on my desktop. So you have the option in PowerPoint by going to that File tab and going to the Save As to save as PowerPoint files, JPEG files, PNG files. Another one that they may ask you about is the PowerPoint show. Okay, so it has the file extension of PPSX. Now, when you save a PowerPoint as a PowerPoint show, you can bring your file or email this file to someone and they do not have to have PowerPoint, but you will still be able to show your slideshow. Let me show you what I mean by that. I'm going to hit save. And let me close this up. And it is this one. That's the PowerPoint show. And when I double click it, it's not like PowerPoint is opening up. It's just my presentation. And when I hit escape, it just closes the slideshow. It doesn't go back to the normal view and allow me to do any edits to my presentation. All right, time for a little review. And I'm going to ask you to put your answers in chat. And I'm not going to call on anyone specifically tonight, but I have 6 questions for you, and let's just see how you guys do. Where will you find slide layouts on the ribbon? Which tab would you find slide layouts? Anyone? not the insert. It's actually the home tab, Latanya. Let me get that open just so we can see. And this is one thing that I suggest when you're studying for the exam is just to familiarize yourself with these tab names and the groups that are on the tabs, because time is of the essence and you are working against time. You want to be able to quickly go to the right tab and find the command. You don't want to have to click 6 different tabs and be looking, because that's going to waste a lot of time. On the home tab right here is the layouts, where you can see the different layouts that are available. Okay, what is the slide sorter view and why would you use it? The slide sorter view. Okay, good. I've gotten a few answers. Yeah, Michael, I like yours. Allows you to arrange your slides. Remember, yes, see all your slides as thumbnails. So remember, on the view tab, you can go to the slide sorter view. I kind of change my zoom too, just so I can see all of those thumbnails at once. Remember, you can also change the views down here in the status bar. Good. What is a slide transition? Excellent. How it goes from one slide to the next. Do you want any movement on how we go from one slide to a next? Generally, we only use one transition per presentation. Otherwise, people's eyes are going to go crazy and they're going to get dizzy. Too much movement is not a good thing in a presentation. All right, what is animation? It just started pouring here. I don't know if it's raining by you guys. Yes, Latanya, movement on one slide, one object on a slide, and how it moves, making your text do stuff. Excellent. Those are all good answers. All right, what is the notes pane used for in PowerPoint? What is the notes pane used for? Excellent, Vince. Note allows you to see notes you don't want in the presentation, but you might want to say, especially helpful for printing out as the presenter. Okay, they're like your index cards or your speaking points. Good, Conrad. All right, what was your favorite thing about PowerPoint today? The best thing that you learned today, or the coolest thing you learned? Outline from Word to PowerPoint. Conrad, all of it, you're kind. 3D models, excellent. Word to PowerPoint with one button, excellent. That is not found in a lot of books, I will tell you. That goes back to something I probably learned in 2007 from reading a blog So just to remind you, because you guys might want to add that to your Word document, you add that button in Word to your quick access toolbar, and it's called Send to Microsoft PowerPoint. Once you get an outline set up, and when you're creating an outline in Word, you use those styles, those heading 1s, heading 2s, and heading 3 styles to create your outline. And then when you click the Send to PowerPoint, it will automatically open your presentation. Each heading 1 style will be a new slide in your PowerPoint. Oh, good. Michael, you already tried it. Excellent. All right, so tomorrow night, I will do the first part. The first half hour will be about databases. I will be demonstrating access. The IC3 exam doesn't have you do anything in Access, but it wants you to understand the concept of databases and what is a relational database, what are tables, what are fields, what are queries, and so on. So we'll be discussing some of those terms tomorrow, and then at 7 o'clock, I will have Lynn Wilson join us to talk more about how you guys are going to schedule the test, how to sign up for Certiport, how you're going to get your access codes, and any tips about taking the test from your home. All right, I will see you all tomorrow evening, same time, same place.